This is a video to assist you with the 5.4 quiz, which is the end of the Unit 5 stuff, and it is based on the concept of elimination. This quiz is just going to ask you two questions, and they are the same question, just with different values. So you're solving by elimination, and you are solving by elimination. I'm going to choose to work with, well, neither of these are great examples, but I'll choose to work with the second one. Okay, so we have negative x plus 5y is negative 10, was our first question, and then negative 3x minus 4y equals negative 11. Okay, again, our goal with the elimination is to find the point of intersection. Or to solve the system is another way of putting it. To use elimination, what you're going to do is you're going to put the two equations right on top of each other, as I've done here, and then you're going to choose x or y to work with. I would suggest you choose the variable with lower numbers. And in this case, that number is definitely x, right? You don't want to work with y here, you want to work with x. Now what you do is you take the bottom number's coefficient, which I'm going to put in green, and you multiply the entire top equation. Let me put the actual multiplication thing in there, okay, you multiply the entire top by 3. Then you take the number in front of x, which I'm just going to draw a 1 here. Again, you don't normally need to do a 1, and you'll see in a minute why this is kind of unnecessary, but just to show you, it might not always be a 1, right? And you're going to multiply this one by that 1. Okay? Now, of course, multiplying by 1, what's the point of that? It doesn't do anything, and that's true. In this case, you wouldn't need to do anything to the second equation. But imagine this one was a 2 instead, then you would need to multiply the other one by 2. Now what happens when you do this? The top equation becomes this. The bottom equation, when you multiply it by 1, it just stays the same as it was. Now what's important about what I just did is that if you look at this second equation now, and we imagine that we subtracted, I just want to get these lined up so you can kind of see what I mean. Right? If you subtracted one equation from the other, what would happen? Right? Negative 3x, take away negative 3x is 0x. 15y, take away negative 4y is 19y, positive. And then negative 30, subtract negative 11 is negative 19. Right? And you see all I did there was I just subtracted each column. Right? So negative 3x take away negative 3x was 0. 15 take away negative 4 is 19. Negative 30 take away negative 11 is negative 19. Now what's important about this is that because the two x's have the same number, they disappear. It becomes 0x. And 0x is not important to keep, right? You just write, you just leave it. It disappears. You don't need it anymore. This is why you had to multiply up here before, to make sure that the numbers that were attached to x were the exact same. So that's why I multiplied the top by 3 and the bottom by 1, because it made sure that these two x's were the same. You would also have the option here, if you wanted to, right, of multiplying the top by 4 and the bottom by 5. And if you did that, the two y's would both have 20s on them. Right? And then you could work with y instead of x. I would suggest you work with the easier number, though, just to give an example. Now, to finish this off, I know that y is equal to negative 19 divided by 19, which is negative 1. Now I'm going to take y and substitute it into either equation, because I know a point of intersection is two things, an x value and a y value. So I go negative x plus 5y is negative 10. Negative x plus 5 bracket bracket equals negative 10. What am I substituting in for y? I'm substituting in this number right here. Right? So does not like that move. Right, so let's put it right here. And again, we'll give it that color to make sure that we are paying attention to where this came from and how it's being used. Negative x take away 5 equals negative 10, which means negative x equals negative 10 plus 5. Negative x equals negative 5, so x is 5. So our point of intersection here should be x is 5, that's what we found, and y is negative 1. I go back to my question, type in 5 and negative 1, and I've got my code because I did it correctly. Okay, and that will help you when you go to do this assignment on elimination.